Trojan Sports Now.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm Jonathan Sellers.
And I'm Danielle Percival. Stick around as we bring you the latest news and scores from Troy Sports. The irony of sports. You've got to love it. The bottom team in the East Division taking on the top team in the league. Troy had never won against the Blue Raiders, so they didn't stand a chance Sunday, right? Wrong. Troy took down Middle Tennessee to the wire and beat the Blue Raiders in overtime 74-70 for their first ever win against MTSU. It was Joanna Harden who led the team with 27 points. Ashley Beverly Kelly contributed 17 of her own with 13 assists. So after a huge victory like that, who was the first person to offer Shanda Rigby a congratulation?
I went to my phone after going to the locker room because I was going to call my husband Ed, and there was a voicemail and a text message from Jack Hawkins on there. And that was, I don't know, it was just a tremendous amount of support. But it just solidified in my mind how happy I am to be here at Troy and to be a Trojan when that level of support on a Sunday afternoon when other people would normally be off, they were following Trojan women's basketball, and we appreciate it.
And for the team, Sunday was a historic day, but the historic moments did not stop there.
Clutch. One word that may best describe Joanna Harden. She led Troy with 27 points in their win against Middle Tennessee and knocked down crucial free throws in overtime. Her performance was rewarded by being named the Sun Belt Player of the Week.
It's the first Sun Belt Player of the Week ever in the history, of the program, and so for her to get it, I'm so happy. She was so successful as a high school player and at the junior college level, and I brought her here with all those hopes of coming and being just as successful here, and so this is a great mark for her.
Though this is Rigby's first season coaching at Troy, this isn't her first experience with Harden. During Rigby's career at Pensacola State Community College, she coached against Harden and knew the level of talent she possessed.
Definitely want to bring her in the program because she averaged about 25 points a night in the toughest junior college league in the nation, playing against us, and we really couldn't find a way to stop her. In her own way, she finds a way to get 20, 25 points a game, and I think that's only going to be improved upon as she goes into her senior season.
Harden didn't light up the scoreboard as much during the first part of the season, but eventually began to gain momentum.
She would have games where she had 12 points, 8 points, 15 points. I knew she was a 20, 25 point a night player. Ever since the FIU-FAU game, she's turned the curve. She's been playing consistently since then, and so continuing on that, if she will just keep doing that, it will take us to another level.
And while her performance on the court is dominating, she has the personality to match it.
She's very quiet, but she's very strong-willed. She's extremely quiet. She's not a vocal leader all the time, but she has her way of pushing and nudging and getting what she needs to get done on the court and through people.
Harden has scored in double figures in 9 straight games, and during that time has averaged 21.6 points per game.
But on Thursday night, Valentine's wasn't very sweet for the Trojans. The momentum from the biggest victory of the season didn't carry over to 2 in a row. The Trojans fell to the Panthers of FIU 56-39 at home. The 39 points were the fewest scored by the Trojans this season as they came in averaging 73.7 per game, the best mark in the Sun Belt and 16th best in the NCAA. Joanna Harden led the Trojans with 12 points while Dominique Ross scored 8. Troy finished just 29% from the floor and a season-low 9% from deep. Head coach Shanda Rigby said every coach knows what a letdown feels like, and the challenge now is moving past it.
When you're turning a program around, I'd love for it to be when you make a huge win that you just keep getting momentum and going forward, but that's usually not the case. It's usually when you take a step forward, then there's 2 steps back. Maybe you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It's very seldom a straight continuum. So we hit that bump in the road where we took many steps back today, and all we can do is move forward tomorrow.
Well, the men's team had a nice run of games heading into last Saturday. The Trojans had won 3 of 5 and were looking to make it 4 of 6 as they faced a tough Middle Tennessee team with 20 wins already under their belt. However, the Trojans suffered one of its worst losses in program history at the hands of the Blue Raiders, falling 93-41. MTSU got off to a quick start and never looked back. The Blue Raiders shot 64% from the field while the Trojans hit just 15 of 49 shots. Overall, it was just a tough night for the Trojans.
We happened to catch them on a day that they just, everything was just, it was unbelievable. I mean, they shot 73% in the second half, so, it was just a bad timing for us, and the score kind of got out of hand, and, you just got to finish that game and get it off your mind and get ready for the next one.
On Thursday night, the men played second in the doubleheader, and they had better luck this time around against the Panthers.
After falling to the Blue Raiders, the Trojans took some time to get refocused before Thursday night's game against FIU. Troy won 69-61 over the Panthers, though they didn't have a typical schedule this week.
We took off 2 days just to make sure we were ready for tonight. And that first day back at practice, which was Tuesday, it was so intense.
The spark the Trojans needed in the first half came from Hunter Williams, who scored 14 of the team's 29 points before the break, including 3 three-pointers and converting a 4-point play.
For me, when I hit the first one, then the basket starts to look a little bigger. But I was just trying to do whatever I can. You know, we knew it was a big game. We knew we had to come out hard.
The first half, Hunter Williams and Emil Jones kept us in this game, and at halftime, we told them, we said, we're not going to win with those 2 guys. We have to have some of you other guys step up.
In the second half, the Trojans rallied around first-half heroes Jones and Williams, scoring 40 points.
The group just refused to lose look. In the timeouts, when they were on the bench, they just refused to lose this game tonight, and that was a good thing to see.
That attitude has vaulted the Trojans into the spotlight as they attempt to capture the 500th win for Maestri in front of the home crowd against North Texas this weekend.
I mean, if it was about me, we'll win the game. But we got to play North Texas, you know, and it's not about me. I mean, really, it'd be nice if everything worked out right. You know, we'll take all the pats on the back and all that stuff. But really, it's irrelevant. We have got to come out here and play North Texas and play one heck of a game to be able to beat them.
The Trojan softball team got things started last weekend with 4 games at the Bulldog Kickoff Classic in Starkville. Troy opened the tournament and its season with a 5-3 win over future Sunbelt foe Georgia State. Chandler Griffin drove in 4, while Casey McAllister and Hannah Wren had 2 hits apiece. Troy faced the host team Mississippi State in Game 2, falling 5-2. Troy was down 3-0 heading into the 6th before making it a 3-2 game, but the Bulldogs added 2 more in the bottom half of the inning. The Trojans had 4 errors in that loss. And on Saturday, the Trojans had a rough start against SIU Edwardsville, 11-3 in 5 innings. Hannah Wren had 3 hits, including a homer in that loss. Troy was able to finish the weekend at 500 with a 7-3 win over Tennessee State. Rachel Rigney picked up the win while Brittany Russ added 3 hits, while Chandler Griffin had 2. Coach Melanie Davis with thoughts on the opening weekend.
Have a lot of potential offensively. We also have a lot of potential defensively, but we didn't put the complete performance together. Made a lot of first game mistakes mentally and physically, and I think we've identified some of those in film. We've worked on them throughout the week, and those are little things that we can correct. Have had a good week of practice, and I think that we're on the right track towards some good things this season.
Troy was set to take on Florida State on Tuesday night. However, with all the rain, the Trojans' matchup with the 24th-ranked Seminoles was postponed until February 28th.
The women's indoor track and field team competed at Sanford this past weekend in their final indoor meet before the Sunbelt Conference Championships. Senior Morgan Paulson finished 9th in the 5,000-meter run with a time of 18 minutes, 20.05 seconds, moving her to number 2 on Troy's all-time list and 9th in the Sunbelt. Senior Ashley Hall ran a season best and moved to 6th all-time in the 400-meter. Coming off being Sunbelt Track and Field Athlete of the Week, JaCourtney Alexander placed in the finals of the 60-meter dash, moving her to 3rd in the Sunbelt Conference.
Both Trojan tennis teams were in action over the weekend, and in the only action that was on campus, the men's tennis team competed against Southern Miss at the Lunsford Tennis Complex Saturday afternoon. The men lost their home opener 5-2 and were unable to win any points in the doubles. Anash Ruchti defeated Matt Frost in straight sets for the Trojans' first point, and Sammy Gorbel also won in straight sets over Vasco Valverde. The men are now 1-5 this season, but the women had better luck on Sunday, defeating Furman 4-1. Caroline Grimmel defeated a nationally ranked opponent in Lauren Klein. Grimmel was 0-7 in singles play up to that point. The Trojans traveled to Auburn Wednesday, where they fell 7-0 to the 60th ranked Tigers.
Trojan Sports Now.